돌아온 영들 리턴하지.
Welcome back, guys. We are here with Time, the first player to get out of the group in first place. And we are going to have this interview translated for you guys in real time. So let's see what he has to say. First of all, you're the first one to make it out of the group. How do you feel?
새로 확장팩이 나왔기 때문에 연습을 많이 했어요. 무조건 승자전에서 1등으로 진출한다는 마인드로 열심히.
Time says, with the new expansion coming out right before KeSPA, I practiced a lot. I feel great because I feel like that practice really paid off coming into this one.
굉장히 많은 그런 경기들이 있었잖아요. 네, 먼저 첫 번째 경기에서 서구 선수를 상대로 꺾어냈고요. 네, 사실 그간 마음고생이 많았을 것 같은데.
So there are a lot of matches today. You defeated seogui.
제가 사실 서기님 상대로
How did you feel when you defeated seogui?
그래가지고 서기님 만났을 때 약간 왜 자꾸 서기님 만나지? 이런 생각하긴 했는데 새로 확장팩 나온 만큼 준비 열심히 하면.
I was a little intimidated because I had never beaten seogui in a different tournament. But I prepared really hard for him, and I feel like that's the main reason why I got this good result.
Interesting he would say that after this initial interview, saying that the player matchups don't matter.
Yeah.
So talking about the final match, the Rags missing and going in his favor about 4 times.
Sounds like the Ragnaroses are on my side today. That Rag RNG. He is the master of the Rag. Which wouldn't sound too impressive if you didn't know I was talking about Ragnaros. Being a master of a Rag doesn't really sound that nice.
Don't say that about Gumiho. So you've been playing both, you know, aggro and control type decks today. So which did you prefer? I thought I was a good player before the pirate decks rose in popularity. And so, basically, I was practicing a lot against Pirate Warrior leading up to this. And he does play a lot of Pirate Warrior. He likes the aggro, but he prefers control right now. So, being the first player out of groups, which player in Group B are you most afraid of going into the semifinals? All 4 players in Group B are strong, however. Siri here he said was going to make it out actually. Flurry. So, Flurry and I kind of had a promise with each other we'd both make it out of groups. So he's hoping also with Flurry that they will both advance in first place so that they will not match each other in the semis, but rather face each other in the grand finals. So, what's your goal for the KeSPA Cup? He says obviously to win the whole thing. Take home that 10 million won.
자, 아무튼 오늘 4강전 올라갈 수 있는 8강 A조 경기에서 기가 막힌 경기 보여줬었고요. 다음에 보여줄 4강전도 경기 한번 기대를 해보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 자 그러면 이어지는
So that's basically it. I don't have an audio feed, but we were told that's basically the gist of the interview, so it probably looks like just a wrapping up here. No further questions. Oh, last question. Are you watching the losers match tonight? And he says yes, of course. He's like, nah, I'm gonna go home. I don't know anything else about this tournament. But here we are, man. We're going into that losers match now. One player or first player is going to be eliminated.
And who's it going to be? Caster's decks didn't seem too intimidating, to put it one way.
Yeah. as you can see, both of these players are Hearthstone Masters champions. We've had quite a few seasons of Masters here over at OGN. It's really the most competitive Hearthstone tournament in Korea is OGN's Masters tournament. And they're both champions. KeSPA, the more recent champion, but still, it's been a while. And the decks he's brought to the table here feel, I don't want to say gimmicky, but definitely less standard. And that may come back to bite him. I personally favor seogui massively after watching those initial matches.
I would have to agree with you. I feel like seogui just brought more of the standard decks. The Murloc Paladin and the kind of control-y warrior that Caster had didn't seem too intimidating. We'll see if he can turn it around. Maybe these decks work a little bit better against what seogui brought compared to Ghost.
We will see seogui narrowly defeated there in his first match. All right, let's take a look at these bans. It's going to be Shaman to start things off.
Yeah, that's been the theme of tonight. Shaman's really taking the spotlight, it seems, and then we actually have a self-ban on Paladin this time for Caster. He's like, no, that's not going to work today. So he just bans that out. The Rogue being banned.
And Priest coming out for seogui as well. So he will actually be playing it for the first time. We'll see Caster attempt to make that mage deck work again.
Yeah, the Freeze Mage. He just got rolled over last time when he was playing against Ghost by just too much aggression early on. Maybe this time if he faces a slower deck, he'll have some more success with that Freeze Mage.
All right, just writing down these decks this time so that I've got them available and don't get confused this time as we go into this matchup. And with the Shaman picks here, it's a, if history is any indicator, we will have that mirror yet again to set the tone of this best of 5. To be honest, I'm hoping for something different, though.
I'd be surprised if we don't see it, just because that's the way it's been going all day. But we're just going to have to wait and see. So let's jump into game number 1 right now between Caster and seogui.
Priest versus Mage, so a totally different setup here.
I was hoping to Caster curse it, and that I did.
Congratulations.
Oh, that's very nice.
So it's that Freeze Mage variation again. Obviously, you can't switch decks in groups. And then seogui will bring out what looks to be a variation of Dragon Priest. It could be Reno. We won't know until later on in the game. Reno very strong on the ladder, but Dragon Priest I'd say probably the stronger variation to see in competitive. As soon as we see 2 of the same card, we'll know that it's not Reno anymore.
Yeah, I feel like the Freeze Mage should have a much easier time against the Dragon Priest compared to, I forget who it lost to last time. Maybe the Shaman or the Rogue.
I think it was Rogue, but I can't remember, to be honest. Castle games there already. Well, this Novice Engineer will draw along with the Arcane Intellect. And we're going to see out pops the Blackwing Technician. And, you know, at this point, basically, in any other matchup, seogui would want to be trying to grab some draws potentially off of the Cleric, but in this case, he just wants to take this tempo advantage. The Cleric's always there for a draw when he wants it, but he's going to spend the majority of his mana right now trying to get this board. Even if the Doomsayer comes out, he's got Shadow Word Pain, can instantly remove it. And that would put a real big thorn in Caster's side as he's relying on this to buy time. He has Thaurissan coming up soon. Not going to be the play he wants next turn. He also has Volcanic Potion, which won't be able to clear anything, so he really needs this Doomsayer.
Yeah, and as you said, it's just trading 2 mana for 2 mana. Card for a card.
At least in this case, worst case scenario for him, he gets the draw off of the Loot Hoarder. This can actually be a trade he can take out the Doomsayer with the Shadow Word Pain and then trade anything into the loot order. Probably the Cleric draw. He'll draw first because that's mechanically the correct choice. See if anything better comes up. Pretty unlikely. This Shadow Word Pain.
You can see the pain on Caster's face after that goes down.
Not even slightly worried about that Novice Engineer.
Yeah, she's just chilling behind her own shield, just like the Fierce Monkey.
She's just not as fierce.
So, how greedy does Caster want to play at this time?
Well, he's already lost his Doomsayer, just so unfortunate.
Yeah, and this time he has double Ice Block very early on, so he can play it a little bit greedier.
Oh, the Frost Nova he wanted last turn with the Doomsayer. Top decks it, will not have it. It would have, of course, really 2 turns ago, since he did use the draws here.
Ooh.
He's actually going to go aggressive here and try to mill a card. And count, yeah, he has successfully done so. Will be a burn card for Caster on his next draw.
Another Blackwing Technician. Those 3/5s. Oh, the second Doomsayer.
Oh man, that could have been great with the Frost Nova.
That's massive.
Now that the Thaurissan is out, it will reduce the cost of his Frost Novas, but unfortunately those just simply aren't as useful without the Doomsayer. And he didn't play his Ice Block. We're not approaching lethal yet, but we're getting close. It's not a situation where you can ignore Thaurissan because he's not close enough. He's currently got 9 damage on board, 3 in hand. He's not close enough. Draw first. Ooh, gets that Dragon Potion. See you later, Thaurissan. And still a much better board here for seogui, bringing Caster down to 11 health.
That Alexstrasza is now 8 mana, so could play it next turn. And he does have the double Ice Block, so we are getting close. He just needs more damage in hand. Right now he's got the Fireball, 1 Frostbolt, Forgotten Torch.
Time to do some investigation. And now he knows these cards are not in hand. Gets the Fireball, looking for that direct damage. He'll heal himself to full. Nothing else to do with the last 2 mana.
Blizzard. So he can actually, he buys another turn here with the Blizzard if he wanted it, but it looks like he's going to Alexstrasza.
Oh, this is so greedy.
Well, he does have the Ice Block. And is that enough damage? He has 12.
I forgot he actually had the Ice Block on him already. Just 1 in hand. So it's not as greedy as I originally said.
He's got 12 damage in hand. With the Fireball, the Frostbolt, and the Forgotten Torch.
The only heals that seogui has right now is his Hero Power. We'll pop the Ice Block and then trade with Alexstrasza.
He wants to heal up here too, just to make sure. So he's going to go up to 16 now.
Another Ice Block will buy 1 more turn. Kobold.
Does he have enough damage here? I think he does.
Yeah, with Frostbolt in the top deck Ice Lance, that's 11 damage plus Fireball for 7, and that will end the game. So Caster finally finds success with this Freeze Mage deck from 1994.
Yeah, there we go. Bringing it back. Freeze Mage. So he will lose that deck for the rest of this matchup, but it gets him the win he wanted. Finally some success for this player.
Yep.
seogui looking defeated.
So Caster really, can be quite happy he had those Ice Blocks. Without them, would have been a different game entirely. But what are you going to do? That's kind of how Freeze Mage works. If you get the right cards to survive, then you win the game with that burst that you get eventually. He had the Thaurissan play as well.
A call for first winner spells Caster. Caster fighting.
Caster fan. But Master is not into this yet. He needs 2 more wins with 2 different decks. He'll have to find a win with that Paladin deck. Maybe now's the time to bring it out again. Oh, that's right. He's not actually running the Paladin deck this time. I'm sorry.
Did self-ban.
Thankfully, because...
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, good job, man. Get that out of the way. You don't want to see that anymore. So now, do you think we're going to see Priest again?
That's been the trend tonight. When you lose with a deck played again, I think with only one exception.
Yeah. It's really just how you think it matches up against Shaman and Warrior. Maybe you want to use a different deck, perhaps a Shaman of your own. So guys, let's jump into game number 2 right now and see which decks these guys are going to go with.
Priest again versus Shaman.
빛이 승리를 불러올 것입니다.
So, gonna mulligan out there. He does get the Trog to start. So not bad. Go straight into Jade Claws, picks up Jade Lightning as well. But a very nice start on the side of seogui. Really have to mention that here. We're gonna have the 1/5 Northshire Cleric right off the bat. Gonna coin that out.
Yep, he'll buff it, draw a card. He also has 2 Shadow Word Pains, insanely powerful to have to control the early tempo versus a Shaman. And even these Jade Claws won't be able to clear this off. We'll make it a 2/2. To get the 1/1, he's just gonna have to go and try to trade this down. He doesn't have enough damage. And
there's another one.
Yeah, so
this is an awkward turn.
yeah, no, there's a lot of, he has so many different choices. Even the Ooze is not a horrible choice. He can, well, let's talk about the choices. He can kill the 2/2 with Shadow Word Pain, trade into the Jade because he has another, well, it looks like he made his choice. He's going to heal, which is like the 5th choice he had. That still clears, and he'll lose this, but he keeps a card advantage, which is going to be the theme, it looks like, in this. And maybe he's looking for that Shadow Word Death because he knows that the Flame Wreath Faceless is something that he's going to face eventually, and in this case it's a more imminent threat than he perhaps even knows. This really, I mean, if you can control the early game by any means with this Dragon Priest, then the big challenges, the big hiccups are obviously going to be the Flame Wreath Facelesses, and if you deal with those, then the game is yours, and you have this card advantage, and you just win it.
Essentially, let's take a look at this Priest. Probably running into for those if he does get there. Obviously, the Flame Wreath Faceless is going to come out 2 turns earlier. That's still an option.
Okay. Shadow Word Pain finally going to make its appearance here. And he will probably play the Twilight Whelp with that. Playing the Cleric isn't going to get him any draw power right now.
He picked up 1 Shadow Word Pain and he's like, nah, not this one. I got to use the other one. This one is better.
I actually wasn't paying attention. Did he play the one on the left or the right of his hand?
Left.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I want to play towards
but he
the
picked
right.
up the right one first.
Mind games. Maybe he's just going beyond what we can even comprehend with that choice.
He's pretending like he has another card that he was thinking about playing or something.
He's like, maybe I have Holy Smite, and I considered using it, but I decided to do this instead. He's like, watch out, caster.
Interesting. He's going to go for the trade instead.
He may just go face, actually. Oh, he gets the taunt.
Taunt is huge.
Now he can trade this, and then he gets 2/2. And the Shadow Word will be used on the Flame Wreath, or excuse me, Flame Tongue. There's a lot of flames in this Shaman meta.
I think the Faceless would have been the better play just because there's no answer, really, on the side of the Priest.
Well, he doesn't know there's no Shadow Word Death, but I still agree with your assessment.
but because he saw one Pain played, he's like, okay, well, if I get a Taunt Totem, I can keep this Flame Tongue Totem protected for a long time and get a lot of value out of that. I can play Faceless on the next turn.
Right now, there's no... This is what we like to call the awkward turn, right? As we've said multiple times. There's just this clear ability of the taunt with the... what's the... I don't know why I'm losing my words on this guy. The Blackwing Corruptor. He clears the taunt. Then clear one of these. Leaves the Flame Breathe.
Yeah, it's always awkward when your best play is you taking 9 damage next turn.
Yeah. In fact, he also, with this situation, can actually Jade Lightning, grab a 2/2, then hit face twice, and could even, because he's done so much damage, could even trade the South Sea Deckhand into the Cleric because it doesn't really...
to deny some draw.
Yeah, he's not going to though. He wants the damage as fast as he can.
So there you have it. We are going to be seeing this Twilight Guardian coming out. Will get the taunt, so he's buying some time here.
He just wants that Shadow Word Death. He doesn't have it. Okay, looking for that spell power. He gets it. Not going to be the hugest swing around, but it's definitely what he wanted because now he can actually clear the Worm Rest Agent to Dragon Egg. That's not going to be too helpful. Yeah, like Sonic's like, what's this card? I was like, oh yeah, that's not in the meta.
He would have liked some more damage for sure.
Now there's no taunts, and he doesn't even have a dragon. In fact, his Bookworm can't kill anything.
I think that's
simply game.
Well, he can heal,
yeah,
so he'll survive on board, but it's just, again, not a very good situation here for Seogui.
Let's see if Caster draws what he needs.
Just needs 2 damage, and it's a Lightning Bolt. There you go. So there we have it. Caster going up 2-0. Pretty quick fashion. Seogui looks defeated again.
Didn't look like this series was going to go this way, but you know, suddenly Caster gets that Mage win that he was lacking in the previous series. Self-bans the Paladin, so that weird deck is removed. And Warrior is going to be the last class he has to win with.
And he's got 3 chances to do it, right? He's probably going to go up against the Priest first. Then perhaps Shaman Rogue, or Rogue Shaman. Either way, he's got 3 chances, so he's got a pretty good shot at winning this one.
Oh man, poor Seogui, he's had such a rough night tonight. His first match going so close, nearly winning it. Getting knocked down here to face Caster, who was definitely favored against considering how the night went earlier. And now he is 0-2. 3 decks to win against Warrior. Did we see Caster's Warrior in the previous set? I don't think we did we? I can't think of what it was if we did see it. We'll have to wait.
I think it might have been that dragon kind of control, but not 100% sure. We're going to find out in this game right now, going into game number 3 of Caster versus Seogui.
Priest, it is again for Seogui here. Figures if it didn't work against 2, maybe it wins against this. He gets some sort of momentum. He keeps his mind focused on the same deck, the same cards. Whether or not we saw Caster's deck before, it is going to be that Dragon mid-range Warrior. It's not going to be Pirate aggro, which we haven't really seen today, which is sad, but everyone who's played it on the ladder is hoping to get some of that flavor of what they're used to in this tournament. It's not going to happen.
Look at that. That's a huge start already for Caster. Going to get rid of that annoying 2-3. Does run into a little bit of a roadblock here, but he will get that Rusty Hook.
Yeah, the Rusty Hook. And the Buccaneer. The Buccaneer who...
the Buccaneer is kind of having a hard time.
The Buccaneer
days.
who's like just not doing so well. Small time.
Yeah, not as big as his other Buccaneer friends.
The Buccaneer just wants to be the Buccaneer that gives the 1/1 to the weapon, but actually just can't and gets +2 only when the weapon's out. He wants to be the one that helps the weapon out, but he's relying on the weapon right now. It's kind of this weird relationship they have.
Yeah.
And see, now when the ooze comes out, he loses his whole power. That's why he stands small
What is
time.
he even good for? I mean,
Oh, this is a great frothing. Oh, he bumped significantly here.
only a 6-4 on turn 3, no big deal.
Now this would be great if it were a taunt minion, but it's not. It doesn't have Shadow Word Death again. And because the only dragon is his Twilight Guardian, he cannot get that, which would be another great opportunity. Looks like he's actually going to draw on Worm Rest here. And I can't blame him for it, to be honest. With what he has now, everything else is inefficient. This is bad too, but he was hoping for something better.
Oh boy. This is going very much the way of the first series we had all night. And look at that, he's going to buff it up to 12 damage on turn 4, and there's no answer. Still no dragon. Oh, okay, there we go. There's the answer.
Yeah. Blackwing Corruptor will finally deal with this. His health pool is quite significantly reduced, and the Korkron Elite is still alive. In fact, looks like he's going to trade it to grab a 4/4 on this Frothing Berserker. Out comes the Fairy Dragon, which cannot be removed by any means. Seogui still has a path in this game. There's the Shadow Word Death he's been looking for all series long that he hasn't been able to get.
I guess he has it for the next Frothing Berserker. So now we have a pretty strong Blackwing Technician.
Yeah. And, oh, Draconid gets procced here. That's where he wants to put his death. And gets another Twilight Guardian, so he can actually taunt that up this time. And he will stay alive for the time being.
Seogui is playing really fast now. I mean, there was really only one play, but gotta wonder where his head's at after some of these series.
Yeah, no, you can see his face. He's like, oh, it's hopeless.
Caster also playing really fast.
Well, these are not complicated decisions. Like, this is a race against time for Caster. He's trying to just simply eliminate him before this momentum swings back, whereas Seogi's like, I have no momentum. There's no decisions. It is only playing the cards. Like, there was no way he was going to play a Twilight Guardian instead and not get a taunt and then, like, heal. That's not an option. Looking for damage here. Only gets Flame...
Fire Blast.
Fire Blast, excuse me, yeah. May even go for the Totem for some taunt potential, but I think the guaranteed damage is the more common choice. He considers the Totem, though. He will take the Fire Blast. No Pirate on board, so we'll not actually get a buff from this.
Yeah, just a regular one. He goes face again.
He's one off lethal. Unless he already swung. Did he swing? I don't think he did. I think he's saving that. Entomb here, not going to be what he wants. He's not going to get taunt.
But you basically have to do it.
Yeah, you have to.
And trade.
Yeah, stays with 8. 1 damage off if he gets the dragon to rush it. Wait, no. Actually, if he gets a dragon, he gets the... Oh, that's not even the charge. For some reason, I thought that was Alex Josh's champion. Forgive me, everybody. It's a Ravaging Ghoul, so it's going to help him clear. I was like thinking of it as in if he's going to charge, then he's going to win with a Flame Strike.
That's not bad. He cleared the 3/3 heal. Up again. So he's staying alive for now.
Or is he? That is 1 off lethal.
1 off, and he has another axe. So he
needs
was
a dragon. Okay, he's going to get one. He has to discover one. He wants a low cost.
Well,
the investigator can't pair with anything, but he could, if he survives, it could be useful.
Midnight Drake is like
the worst thing ever. But he only has one extra card, so either of the Drakes is bad. So that's why he goes for the Investigator. That will give him taunt. And again, he survives. And he gets that taunt that he so desperately needed.
And it's huge because the Axe can't go through, and he picks up the Blackwing Corruptor, but no Dragon.
I can't proc it. Not yet. He has no card draw either, so he's going to have to wait this one out. And we'll see what the Investigator brings to the table here. Definitely doesn't want to use that potion right now. He can't actually investigate because he doesn't have a dragon. This has been the story of this game in particular, is the lack of dragons for both sides. And playing it as a body here puts more pressure on his opponent. And you know what? I think that's better than hoping to get another dragon and wasting this turn to just have a heal with no pressure. What will he draw that's going to save him or threaten lethal if he waits for a dragon? He's definitely considering the option, but I feel like hoping to draw a dragon next turn to just delay this 5-6, which is a strong body, it can do a lot for him. Especially with what we have down the pipeline for Caster is... I don't know. I'm not a fan of waiting. I think he needs to delay it.
Okay. Down. Gonna throw that out there. And
even if he top decks a dragon, this is not lethal.
Yeah, it's 2-turn lethal here with what's on board.
Actually, yes, it is with the Flame Strike. But he is going to play or draw the Curator, which will draw him a dragon. Curator gets like really talkative in Korean.
Yeah. What was that?
Okay, there's the dragon he was looking for. And he does not have enough mana to get the lethal. This Curator took too much to draw the dragon, but next turn, he does have it.
I think that's it, right? Even if he heals up with the dragon in hand.
Oh, no, he will be fine, actually.
Okay.
And you know what? He's starting to threat lethal himself. This is a pretty big turnaround here. Because with the heal, he doesn't have enough.
Yeah, staying alive.
Oh, never mind.
What? Oh, man. Grommash off the top. Seogui throws down his headset.
Off before he kills him.
Oh, man.
Seogui is not happy with how that series went. Caster gets the top deck Grommash with the Flame Strike. Insta-lethal. I had even forgotten that card was on the table.
Unbelievable.
Well, Caster with what I'd consider to be an upset here with how the first series went. And the Masters Season 6 champion lives to fight another day. He was 3-0'd in his first match, but takes a 3-0 win himself. And he will face Ghost in the final match of the evening.
Yeah, who's going to make it out into that final match of the night and get out of the group in second place. That will be decided in just a bit. But for now, we are going to have to wait. I think we're going to probably go to another break before we do get to that final one. So tell your friends that this is coming. Of course, Caster versus Ghost in the final match.
Yeah, and before then, we're going to take a quick look at some of the highlights from that last series, which, you know, just basically rehashes what happened if you just turned in late. And those last 3 games. So let's take a look at that now. We started things off with the Freeze Mage finding success this time against just too slow of a deck from Seogui here. Alexstrasza comes out early. It's greedy with the early ice block. He had 2, and Seogui was never able to threaten lethal. Kobold comes in to finish the day here, the +2 spell damage. And we've all seen this before. You've seen this on the ladder. You get frozen units when you know the game's over. Because why would your opponent not have lethal if he's going to freeze your face?
When the arrows start flying towards your face, you're like, okay, I guess I should just concede. And then Caster brings his Shaman out. And Dragon Priest once again, 3 times in a row from Seogui.
He's unable to have the Shadow Word Death he needs to deal with the Faceless, which ends up being his downfall in the end, ultimately, as he's unable to deal with it. And then in the final set, you guys just saw it, so don't really need to rehash it. But he gets the Grommash top deck in a very close final game. And Feels bad, man, if you're Seogui right now.
Yeah, he actually walked by and he really did not look too happy. I wouldn't be happy after a series like that. But Caster with the interesting decks, he's making it work. He gets to the final match. Is he going to make it all the way, though? He did get 3-0'd by Ghost the last time they played.
Yeah, but, you know, Caster was 3-0'd as well, and he made a comeback. And we can see alterations. I always talk about, you know, we can't change the decks, but we can change which decks are played in our draft.
Yeah, very true. So, guys, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, it's Caster versus Ghost.
Next.